What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. I am Joby, the Natural Gearhead. I got my son again with me.
Hello!
Today we're working on the Yukon. This is our LS donor truck that we're using, and we're gonna mess with the AC tensioner pulley. Get that thing replaced. It's making some noise under there, and hopefully get the ABS module dialed in and in order. We'll get right into it. Let's check it out. All right, so this truck here we picked up as a donor, and it's got a good engine trans. My buddy had bought that brand new and been driving it forever, and I picked it up off him because he got something else, and it's got a few things going on. It's making some noise under the hood. I believe it is the AC tensioner pulley, which I have another donor engine in here that I'm going to use in a different project. I'm going to probably just swap it off of that and throw it onto this, see if that fixes it, and then we could buy a new one for the other engine, and all will be good. Also, the ABS, I had done another video on this on how to remove it out of the Silverado donor truck to put in this. Well, we ain't never really got to that, so here's what we're going to do. It's got an ABS module problem in this, so what happens is he had pulled the fuse, the guy I bought it off of, because as soon as you put the fuse in, the pump just runs and runs and runs and runs for the ABS. It never stops. So I'm going to pull that module out and try to swap it with one of the other modules that I have, and hopefully that'll fix it. So that's what we're going to do too. We're going to get this pulley changed out with the donor engine one, and then we're going to get that module off. I'll show you how to do all that. If you don't know how to do the AC pulley tensioner, now you'll know after you watch this video. Also the ABS module, we're going to do that too, and hopefully we can get this baby fixed and dialed in. We got to do the old vehicle shuffle here real quick. So we're going to take the Yukon and put it on the lift because we have a lift. So it's going to make it a lot easier. If you have a lift, hey, use it. If you don't, you can do it on your back. It's not super difficult, but it is easier with a lift, obviously. So we're going to get the S10 out. The bed of it's full of parts, so I don't want it sitting out. So we're going to get the Trans Am out, put the S10 where the Trans Am is, take the Yukon, put it where the S10 is, put it on the lift, get it up in the air. Make sense? Yeah? So clear as mud? Perfect. All right, that's what we're going to do. So we got it all up in the air, and he's over here getting the tools ready to pull the tensioner off the donor engine. Let's see what he's got going on. So what we got going on for tools over here?
We got a 15mm with an extension to get that off, and we're
pull the tensioner off. All right.
Pull the tensioner off. Then we're gonna need
and we gotta get the belt off.
Yeah, and loosen this up, and then
3/8 ratchet. You're gonna use that to take the belt off, loosen the tensioner.
Yeah, loosen it up so we can get the belt off.
Okay. Got an impact gun. Let's head over to the donor engine, and we'll show you the tensioner. This tensioner, I'm not gonna lie, doesn't look that great. So I don't know 100% this tensioner is good, but it's a little rusty, a little crusty, but hopefully it's good. So we're gonna go down here, and he's gonna pull this off for us.
All right, so first, gotta put this on. Bring that down.
Let me get a better angle here for you.
So you gotta bring this down first, so this loosens up so you can actually get this off.
Okay.
So you gotta, it's a little bit tight. Just a little bit.
All right, so you kind of pull the tension off the belt there. Yeah, I'll give it some more. There you go.
Give it a little bit like that.
Nice.
Then this will pop up a little bit more.
Yep.
Then take
now you can access the 2 bolts, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Nice. One there. Ooh, let me get my angle.
Second one.
Nice. Oh, there it is. Falls right off. All right. So, got the 2 bolts.
Yep.
Grab all our tools. We'll head over to the truck. And basically, this is the same exact engine that is in this truck. Okay. So, the one that's in the truck's a 5.3. This is a 5.3. Well, that's an 04, the donor, and this is an 02, but tensioner is going to be exactly the same. So let's go up under the front of the vehicle here, exactly where it is on that motor, do the exact same thing. He's going to show you how to do it. All right, so he took that one off. Now I'm going to take one off. So this thing, she's a little corroded. We cleaned this up a little, but it seems to roll okay, and there's no sound. So I'm hoping this one's okay. And it had tension on the belt, so we're going to throw it in. Like seen, it was super easy to do. So we're gonna hop under this one. I'm gonna do this one since he did the last one and get it swapped out. First thing we need to do, right, is get the belt off. And let's see here. So I'm gonna use this kind of flex head guy here and see if we can get this in there. All right, let's see. A little more difficult on the vehicle, but get the light out because we're trying to film and that's in the way. So same thing, you just want to get in here to this tensioner. It's got that little spot for the 3/8. Now, to make it easier, just take the skid plate off, but I didn't want to do that. So we're trying to work around it. So make it hard on ourselves. The belt's off. So let this guy back up. Okay, boom. Now, I'm gonna crack the bolts loose. Get in here. All right, we got this fancy flex head ratchet. It's a 3/8 on one side and a 1/4 on the other. So just pick that up down at your local Harbor Freight if you want one. So now I'm gonna come in. Let's see here with this ratchet, hopefully. Oh boy. This one I already cracked loose, I believe. Before I even started, so that was a terrible example there. I was not on that all the way. We're at the run start mode. Let's do an extension. Jeez. Everything's gotta be difficult, you know? Just how it goes. Do. All right, coming in. Yeah. What? Actually curious. Let's take a look at this thing and see if we can see anything going on with it. Now, I don't think this has ever been changed, and this motor has, I think, 243,000 miles on it, so there's a chance it could be bad. All right. Oh yeah, you hear it? We can hear it. Okay. You know what? We're going for it. Let's just stick this in and see what happens. All right, so just get her back in place. Put her on just like you took it off. Dirt in your face. Careful of that. Probably should wear safety glasses. All right, we're going in. Oh, yeah. Will it work? I hope so. But you can buy a new one, like off-brand one on Amazon for 15 bucks. You can buy the Delco one for like 24. I think it's 24, something like that, 25 bucks. But since we had this one laying here, and I feel like the donor vehicle that engine's gonna go in is not gonna have AC, we're not gonna need this on the other engine. So, all right, so we'll get that nice and snug. Woo! Did I say it's hot down here in Florida? Because let me tell you, it's hot. It's definitely hot in here. I know it's only May. What is it? May, June, end of May. Let's see. I'm not sure when we're putting the video out, so it's May now. It could be beginning of June when this video hits the floor. So let's run this in. Let me get this tightened up. I'll get the belt back on, and we'll be right back with you. All right, let's fire it up, see if it sounds any better. It just had like a little thing looked kind of rough. What do you think?
I have no idea.
Okay. Worth a shot. Well, sounds like there's a bunch of either superchargers or little birds in there just here, slide under here and I'll rev it up. Let me know. I'm pretty sure it works. Actually cleaned up a little bit. Sounds a little bit better now that it ran a little bit. That donor truck was a Silverado and that thing sat in a farm field forever, so you can see the pulley was a little rusted. And we did have it fired up, but we didn't have AC or anything. We only ran it for a few minutes. It sounded fine running, but that was pretty rough. Sounds like it's clearing up. I'm not sure if it's gonna get better.
Maybe it was like corrosion or something in there.
Yeah, maybe it's cleaning up now that it's running. I don't know if we should swap back to the other one until we get a new one, or put this in and let it ride. Let's rev it up again and see. It's definitely still squeaking. You hear it squeaking in there?
Yeah.
And that's not good for the belt. If that thing's kind of not spinning freely, which it did have. I mean, it spun freely, but it didn't like zzz, you know what I mean? So we might have to spend the 15 bucks. We might have to come off of it and throw it in this thing. Might have to spend 30 bucks, put one on the other motor too. You know, because we know if we put that one back over there.
Well, maybe it'd be good when we get it on.
Woo! Alright, good thing it's easy to change. So maybe I'll just leave that one on there until we get the new one. We'll throw it on real quick. Alright, next thing we gotta do is pull the ABS module real quick. So let me get these tools squared away and we'll meet you under there. So we're up underneath the truck here. This is the driver's side frame rail. Driver's door is right there. Your modules here, ABS module sits on top of this ABS motor. This is where all the magic happens for your ABS, and these are all your lines going in so you can control it with a bunch of valves. And then this is the I have two of these spares, so hopefully one of them will work. I don't know if they're honestly don't know if they're exactly the same or not, but I hope so. They're out of similar vehicles. So this one has both of them. They have two plugs here, which you can see right here. You got two plugs, and there's also a plug on this back side here. And then you got 4 screws that hold it onto the top. They are Torx head T20 screws. And I suggest getting a tool like this right here. This is a handy tool. I use this all the time. This is a Vim brand, V-I-M. And it is part number Hotel Bravo, Hotel Bravo Romeo 5. And I got this one, I think, on eBay. I've also got a gear wrench version that comes in like a whole kit. I think you get those on Amazon. It's a little more expensive because it comes with all the bits. And I have a Husky version of this I keep at work. Got that at Home Depot. So get you one. If you don't have one, they're handy. You can put a socket on this end. And you use an Apex bit, you know, Phillips, flathead, whatever you want on this end. And it's reversible. It's really nice. So this is going to be nice to be able to get in here in tight spaces and get up on top of this, so that you can get to these screws, okay? And then basically you got a lock on this one, and I'm hoping you can see that. Let me get you in a little closer maybe. I don't know how close we can get you. You know what? Let's just do this. Oh, yeah, hit the microphone on the greasy bottom of the truck there. Perfect. All right, so just pull this down to unlock that, and then this, obviously, you just pull him, pull that out of the way, and then push that in, get that guy out of the way. Boom, she's unplugged. So now we'll just get the 4 screws. We'll slide this up, kind of slide it out, and we'll grab that plug out of the back I was showing you, right? So you got These are the two we just disconnected, and the plug here. So once we get it off, we'll slide it out, pop him off, take this out. That's it. Get it on the bench. All right, let me speed you up. We're on the bench here. This is the one we just took out, and there's relays in here that can get stuck, and it'll just leave that motor running. So anyway, this is the one we took out. We have this one, This is out of the Silverado from the donor engine. This is actually out of my buddy's truck, which looks like the worst out of all of them. But, so we're gonna look at some part numbers. Okay, so part numbers and stuff, not matching, at least the numbers on the side there. All right, moving on. Let's look at the pins. So this is the one that came out. This is, oh boy. So this is the one out of Silverado. If you look, there's a whole lot of pins in there. This is the one out of Silverado. Not nearly as many pins. Yeah, so that's probably a problem. Oh boy, yep, this one. All right. Yeah, so the one that came out, the one out of my buddy's truck. So these two look the same. I don't think those are gonna work, because I'm just gonna go out on a limb and say that if it has all these pins, it probably needs them. And these probably just didn't have maybe whatever options for the ABS, or different, maybe this one has more sensors. Probably. Dadgum, so that won't work. So it's not gonna be a direct swap. So what I'm gonna end up doing is taking this apart. Maybe both of these, I don't know. We'll start with one of them, take it apart, get in there to the circuit board. And there should be some relays and stuff in there. I'll look around at this one, see if anything's burned up, and try to unsolder the relays, or the relay, and I think there's only one. It might be two. I'm not sure. Whatever. If there's two, I'll change them out. Hopefully this should have, I'm hoping, the same amount of relays, or the same relays, and swap them into this box. We'll solder it all back together. We'll try it, because these things are like 300 bucks. You know, sometimes you got to work harder to save a buck, and it works, sometimes it doesn't. Now that pulley, quick update, right before we took this out, and we turned the camera off, we went ahead and let it run just a little bit longer, right?
Yes, sir.
And what happened?
It started sounding a little bit better. It didn't make as much noise.
Started sounding a little bit better. So maybe that thing just sitting, and I know it was a little rusty, corroded. Will it last? I don't know, but it seems like it's cleaning up. The noise went away. We took it around the block real quick right before we got back on camera and did this. And good thing, because now this has to stay off until I take it apart and solder that in. So it's going to stay on the lift. But yeah, that sounds better, so I think we're going to leave that.
Yeah.
We'll take the one we took off this Yukon and throw it on that donor engine again, just so we don't lose anything in case we need, you know, whatever. Need to swap back. I might need that for something. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I got to keep everything. It still works. Not great, but it still works. So I'm hanging on to it for now. And maybe at one point or another, we'll spend the 15 bucks and get a brand new one. But we're going to address this. So I'm going to start ripping this stuff apart and get us, hopefully see what's in there. Hopefully they're the same parts, and get a soldering gun and start going to town, see if we can fix it. All right, let's do it. Well, as you can see, it's a different day because change of clothes. So I took these apart, like I said I was going to swap them around, and apparently the circuit board, you're not getting it out of there. Like all these guys, there's plastic between this and the circuit board, so they can't slide out. All these pins, everything is hard soldered right into the board. You'd have to unsolder all that, like disassemble all that to get it out. I wasn't doing that. There is a relay in there. I couldn't verify that it was bad. I was checking it, but it looked like it might be okay. So I don't know. What I did is went over all the solder joints for the relay, all the connections in there. I just went and re-wet them all. I just heated them up, put some more solder. So hopefully, maybe that did something. I don't know. What we're gonna do is reinstall it back in. Oh, and I figured out what the difference is, why this has so many pins and this one has not as many pins. So did a little research on the interwebs, and I figured it was sensors or something, but turns out it's because this one has traction control. Obviously these two vehicles did not have traction control. So traction control it talks to the EBCM, right? The electronic brake computer module or whatever, the ABS module, whatever you want to call it. It controls the ABS, but it also talks to the traction control, because that's what it uses to do the, traction control when you're spinning. So anyway, so that's that. We figured that out. We're going to install this back in the car, and hopefully it works. If it doesn't work, I don't know. Maybe I'll look for one on Marketplace. I'm not going to spend $350 or $40 or whatever it is for one of these for a new one, since I'm probably not going to be putting this vehicle on the road. I just get tired of looking at the lights when I'm moving it around the yard, because in the end, we're using this for a donor, motor, trans, all that's coming out, and probably part out the rest, or sell it as a roller if somebody wanted it as a roller. It's got a good body. There's no rust or anything. So anyway, let's get this installed and see if we did anything, if we fixed anything. So that's what we're going to do right now. Let's go. All right, we got the module all installed. It literally took like, I don't know, 4 minutes, 4.3 minutes to jam this baby on. The screws in the back are a bit of a pain. Like I said, this guy's your friend. I even used a magnetic bit holder to get it started. I stick the Torx in here a little bit longer, get in there and get it started. Get them all started, tighten them up with this guy. Throw the connectors on, put that back one on first. You've probably seen it in a time lapse. I installed that, slid it over, put it in, dropped it down, tightened my bolts, put these two plugs on last, boom, you're in. So now we're gonna go in the vehicle, get the fuse that they pulled out of the fuse box. We'll stick that in, turn the key on, see if this motor starts running, see what happens. All right, let's check that out. Go in here, grab this fuse. All right, here, he had taken this out so that the motor would stop running, the ABS motor. So we'll come over here, I'll show you where, if you ever run into this problem and your ABS motor is just running non-stop and you need it to stop so don't kill your battery and everything else, I'll show you where the fuse is. All right, and it'll tell you on here, right on your chart on the bottom side of this, ABS. You can see it's missing. So first one's stud, ABS 60 amp, next one's the ignition for 40 amp. And right there's our ignition, 40 amp. There's the first one, second one, so that's what we're going for. Oh, I hear the motor running. Can you hear it? I don't know if you can hear that or not. Let me get you under there. All right, just under here. You can hear her just running away. So that definitely did not fix it. We tried. The only other thing I could do, there's a ground. I already cleaned that ground up for the motor. It goes to the frame, and it's right here underneath the door also. I've already cleaned that up and put it on before and tried it, and it didn't work. But if you take the fuse, just give her a little, yeah, it stopped. But now you also are going to have those lights on the dash, but it will get you by. You'll have no ABS if you pull this fuse, but the motor will stop running. The brakes, I mean, he daily drove this thing with this out, and he had no problems. I've drove it just around the neighborhood and stuff like that, just right around the yard and all that. Brakes work fine, just no ABS. Don't act weird or anything. You just have no ABS, and you have the ABS light on, and you have the parking brake light will be on also because of this. They're tied together. So, man, another fail. Let's put the cover back on real quick. Boom, on. I'm gonna fire it back up now that it's been sitting for a couple days and see if that tensioner is gonna act all crazy or if it still sounds pretty good. So let's check that real quick. Put the fuse in the fuse holder, and the otherwise known as cup holder. All right, well, that sounds all right so far. Let's go around here and give her a little rev. Don't need the headlamp anymore. What? Oh, throttle by wire. I thought she had a cable. Back inside. All right, let me set this. Let's have it set to my daughter's setting. All the way in the steering wheel. Let's rev it up a little bit. I'm hearing it. Not real bad, but I'm definitely hearing it. Might have to spend the 15 bucks after all, you know? This is why I do this, so that you can learn from my mistakes. You know, hey, that might have worked, but it didn't. It is what it is. I tried to save a few bucks, literally a few bucks, 15 of them. Now on the ABS, I'm definitely trying to save a lot more than 15 bucks, but I don't really need to on this particular vehicle, but at least maybe you learned where it is and a little bit how it works, I guess, and how to remove it, throw one in if you need to replace yours, if your motor's running all the time, what fuse to pull, where it is, and how to remove and replace one of those tensioners. I'm assuming that most people will be removing a bad one and installing a brand new one. So maybe we'll have to do that in the future, because this engine, if we're using it, we're gonna need a new tensioner anyway. So for 15 bucks, we'll throw it on, or we'll spend the big money, get up closer to around 30 bucks and get the AC Delco. But I don't know, but hopefully you enjoyed the video a little bit, and maybe learned something if that's what you're looking to do, or you laughed at me and got a little enjoyment out of that, seeing me just fail on both accounts. But appreciate you watching. Thanks again for tuning in, and we'll see you in the next episode. Like, subscribe, share, all the YouTube things, and thanks again.